Track wrestling with Jordan Burroughs. We're at the practice arena.
Yeah.
What do you think of this cycling around you? I saw you watching that. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's amazing, man. I've never had a training facility inside a velodrome. When we first came in and saw how steep these banks were, we were like, man, how do these guys even get up on these steep curves? And is it even possible unless you're going crazy speed? And so it was cool to finally see them on the tracks today and see them get their work in. It's pretty amazing to do. They just kind of cruise down here, and then when they're ready to go, they take off and fly. It's cool. It's pretty sweet.
How do you think you'd do?
I'm too scared. I wouldn't even do it, bro. I got kids at home. Can't be coming home with broken arms and legs.
Do you bike at all for training?
No. Well, yeah, but a stationary bike. I got a Peloton at home. That's about the extent of my biking. I don't really bike outside at all.
Does this continue to be fun, being on world championship teams like this?
Yeah, it is. It's a combination. It's stressful, but it's also fun. We've got such a great team, positive mentors around us that they always keep us in the right mood, keep things light, and keep us thinking positively. So that's a pretty good space to be in. And we've been putting a ton of work in. Last week you were kind of anxious because you weren't there yet, and you're putting a lot of work in. It's still a heavy workload, and then this week we're kind of refining and sharpening, but now we're hypersensitive. We're getting down the weights, or we're a little fatigued, and the pressure's starting to mount. So it's a unique space that we're in right now, but I think we've done so much work that I've worked way too hard to sabotage it in the last 4 days before competition, and I'm ready to go. So I'm trying to dial in.
When you talk about that unique space, it is unique in that not many people get to experience high-level competition and be where you are right now.
For sure.
What is that like? I mean, is it hard for lay people to relate to what you're actually going through?
I don't think so. I think that everyone has a fear, and everyone has something that exhilarates their, just their potential, who they are, what excites them, what gets them going, their juices flowing, or so have you. And for me, this is what creates the buzz and generates the intensity that I need to feel purposeful. I love to wrestle, I love to compete, I love to battle. And so I think that a lot of people, day to day, they get to feel this in some other way or form, but it's just unique in the position that we are in because we get to do it at the highest level. We get to say that we're one of the best wrestlers in the world, sometimes the best wrestler in the world in our weight class. And that's pretty special. But I think that a lot of people are really good at what they do. They just don't get rewarded for it on a public forum like we do. And so I'm thankful for the platform that we get. The great thing is people know. The scary thing is everyone's watching. And so it's a gift and a curse, but it's such a special thing that we get to do. And sometimes I have to remind myself that I asked for this. I want this. As scary as it may be, there is no place in the world that I'd rather be than here, with high stakes, with opponents that believe they can beat me, and with me training my butt off all year long to put myself in position to be successful and get my hand raised. It's going to be a great weekend. Regardless of the outcome, I'm ready to fight. I'm prepared, and I'm going to put it out on the line.
Elaborate a little more on that feeling when you say it's stress and fun. Is it simultaneous, or
it's
do you feel...
simultaneous, bro. Like when you step into that tunnel and you're standing side by side with your opponent before you guys are going out onto the arena floor. I just think about, right? So you stand side by side with your opponent once they announce you're like, okay, I've got Russia next round. Me and Sidikov were standing right next to each other. Russian coaches, Manning and Snyder, were side by side. We take our t-shirts off, put my headphones and my cell phone inside of the bin with my attendant in the red corner, from Russia, 74 kilograms, Sidikov. From United States in the blue corner at 74 kilograms, Burroughs, right? And so as you walk out, instantly you have to prepare yourself for the battle and for the competition that you've worked and trained extremely hard for a very long time to prepare for. People think that just once you make the world team, you start to prepare for the world championships. Really, this is years in the making. And so when you step out onto the mat, you understand that as scary as this may be, I'm ready. I've left no stone unturned. I've done everything right. I've trained the right way. I've respected my coaches. I've bought into their philosophy. I've eaten the right foods. I've cut my weight well. I've slept on time. I've been a good dad, a good husband, good friend, good role model, good teammate. I've been coachable. This is my time that I go out and get rewarded for it. and sometimes it doesn't work out, as I've seen in the past. But I think that when you can fulfill your potential by just being a good steward of your gifts and really just trying to honor God and give glory in everything that you do, I think really it puts you in a space where, regardless of the result, you can be satisfied leaving that arena knowing that you gave it your all. That's really all you have. All I got is what I have, and that's what I'm going to give. And so the only way that I would be regretful leaving Kazakhstan is if I didn't wrestle with 100% effort. Right? Because sometimes you don't even need to be your best. It's not about being your best, it's just about being willing to give 100%. Most of the time when I give 100%, I get my hand raised. And so it's not about being super focused or super sharp or hitting every move crisp and perfectly. Sometimes it's about just going out there and scrapping and being willing to battle and being tougher than this guy in the positions and getting your hand raised. That's
what's it like being the best, but then going beyond that? Very few people get in that space where you're a legend. What's that like to be a legend?
I'm in kind of like uncharted territory, right? Because although John has the most world championships, I am 5 years older, I believe, than John was when he was retired. He wasn't married. He had no kids, right? He was the veteran because of his high level of success. He was just so freaking good at wrestling. You know, being 9 years in, I think that the space has changed a little bit for me, but the significance really comes now from the blessing of being able to see all these other guys that looked up to me at one point or another now become my teammates, and me being able to draw inspiration from them. So the next Olympic champion might be a 14-year-old kid somewhere in the States right now, just hanging out and relaxing. And we have no idea who they are, what their name is, and what they're capable of. And now I'm surrounded by 9 of those guys, and that's pretty special. But you know, it's going to be a special journey regardless, and I think this position that I am in is really cool because I'm setting the bar for the next generation. I've really made a career out of this. I've been one of the first guys to really be able to make a career out of wrestling, to be able to get paid a living wage, to become somewhat of a celebrity in the wrestling community, try to transcend our niche sport, and then also spending 9 years in. If you look at most of our Olympic champions of the past, they've all had short careers. Jake Varner, Henry Cejudo, Cael Sanderson, Brandon Slay. All of these guys have had relatively short careers, and they've gotten out early while still in their 20s. So to be 5 championships in my 30s and still rocking is it's pretty cool. It's a testament to the people that I have around me, but also my willingness to work and the blessings that have been bestowed in my life. I'm a pretty blessed man. I can't complain. I'm just working hard.
Have you already had some people want their pictures with you, autographs already?
We got dropped off. The bus dropped us off right at the entrance to the arena, and the entrance not to like where you go inside of the arena, but where cars come into the parking lot. People were literally stopping their cars, getting out of their cars to grab pictures. It was pretty insane, and the foreign etiquette is a little different than it is stateside. We are very reserved in the States unless you are an absolute superstar. And so people kindly ask you, hey, are you Jordan Burroughs? Oh, sweet. I don't want to interrupt you. Do you mind if I grab a picture with you? And there's obviously a language barrier here, so sometimes they just come, they grab you around the neck and they selfie. That's you know, so it's cool though, man. It's such a blessing. Like, I am recognized around the world sometimes more than I am domestically, and that's pretty wild if you think about it in the grand scheme of things. I have a large following worldwide, and that's pretty cool. I want to be able to share that with my family someday. But yeah, man, it's fun. All good stuff.
All right, thanks for the time.
Thank you.